I would encourage you, if you have not already, to go watch the public statement it is that we made pertaining to this lawsuit that is no more. And we have reached an agreement. So I figured I'd let you guys in on, I'm going to repeat a lot of what it is that I said, but there were some questions, and I did already post about it, about the future of like Isom as our character, and I figured I'd get that stuff cleaned up as well and more so clarified. But look, let's set the scene like this. So when a lawsuit gets filed, that's exactly what happens. A lawsuit is filed, everybody's preparing to go to court and all that. And at that point, if there is a dispute, well, it is a dispute because, it's a lawsuit. But if that's going to be resolved out of court, there's going to be an agreement going to be made. It's settled. That's what it is. It doesn't matter what that agreement entails. That's what it's going to be referred to. It's settled per se. It just means that there's a resolution, and there's been some very, let's say, irresponsible people. Some of them got caught with egg on their face. But let me say this. If someone says that a party has to admit fault or pay the other in order for something to be settled, they are dangerously wrong, incorrect, or they may just be flat out lying. But regardless of the circumstances here, it brought us to the table, right? And all you need to understand, I guess the more important thing to understand is going to be what the intention was. What is the goal here of both parties now that we're here? Excuse me again with this cough. But myself and the Reverend, we're both men of God, and especially from a spiritual standpoint, it was very, very important that we resolve this out of court, okay? So we have to give a big shout out. They deserve to be commended, both parties, lawyers, my rock star lawyers, because we wanted to get this resolved amicably. We came to the table, cut out all the noise, social media, all this other stuff. We cut that out, and we just wanted to make sure that we came to the table honestly and in good faith. So considering what those goals were, there was no requirement for there to be a loser. And if there at any point where we're negotiating and we're having these discussions, and if at any point parties felt that something was unfair, then it would have went to court, period. That's just what would have happened. It probably plays out in that way. And we were prepared very much in the case that it went that direction. We were prepared with what we were going to file and counter, all of that. But again, going back to what the goal was, it was not to fleece anybody. It was not to transfer some sort of rights. It was not to require permission to do something. It was not to ruin the other's business or their establishment or what it is that they were trying to do. It was simply to ensure a distinction. That was it. That's all that it was. And we're separate businesses. We got our own things going on. We're not affiliated. They have their lane. We have our lane. And this is why that like some sort of like royalty or like a license, that would be completely illogical, people that float that around, because that would have actually tied us together forever. So that was not what it is that we wanted to happen. That's the opposite of what it is that we wanted to happen. We wanted there to be a distinction between the parties that are involved. Now, as I said before, in this statement, which you should go watch if you have not already, no party is admitting to any sort of wrongdoing. There's no rights that are being violated. And look, I get it. That's a boring conclusion, right? For some people, very, very boring. It's a hyper divisive world. Everybody wants really a blood sport. That's how they want this thing to play out. And I get it. They would have preferred that one or the other had their business and what it is that they were trying to do be ruined, or they wanted both parties to have their businesses and again, their what they're trying to accomplish ruined. But it was just a real simple agreement, basic steps that say they're doing their thing and say we are doing our things. We're not in each other's lane. That's really it. We're not affiliated. And I get it. That's a boring conclusion. It's anticlimactic. But it's what happens. Is I know people wanted to. Well, we got to try to read between the lines of what. No, it's nothing. It's sort of boring maybe for you guys, a little anticlimactic, but it's just really simple. We're here, they're there, we have our own thing. So with that being said, Isom will continue as a Rippaverse character. He's not tied to anybody else. He's not tied to any other company. We don't require permission. None of that stuff is going down. His name is going to remain Isom. His character is going to be what he is. His design is going to remain as such, and we're going to be continuing on with Isom 3, right? We're going to continue on with the series. It's just what it is. Again, excuse me with that cough. So I end on this note. No matter how confident they are, and I said this in a different video, but I'd advise you to stop listening to drama farming YouTubers. I know they're scrambling right now because they were so close. They thought that they were going to get a conclusion that meant that I was going to be ruined, meant that maybe even the other party was going to be ruined. That just was not that's not what we were ever dealing with. But now they're trying to kind of save face with that, because as everything comes out, we've had our public statement, even shared by the Reverend. The sentiments are all echoed. It was about just making sure that, you know, we're all in our own lanes and everybody kind of understands that. And it's not the outcome that some people wanted. They got caught with egg on their face. Thought someone's company was going to be bankrupt. Thought someone was going to have to change this or change that. But no, it's just not what happened. Neither Good Shepherd nor Rippaverse is losing. But perhaps you think that you lost. As a person that, again, wants that drama and wants that continued conflict and wants a blood sport, too many guys said, nah, let's just come together. Let's just get this behind us. Let's understand that there's a distinction being made, and it's there. It actually exists. We're doing our thing. Isom will continue on as we're doing our thing with the character Isom, and that's just what it is. Boring, I get it, but that's it. So we will be continuing on. Can't wait for you guys to read upcoming Isom material. Isom 3 is going to be. Oh, well, we got some good stuff planned for you. Let's just say that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. We're continuing on, and that's pretty much it. So, Alpha Core #1's pre-order is live. Written by the legendary Chuck Dixon and penciled by Joe Bennett. Visit Rippaverse.com to grab a copy and any of the merchandise items. Be sure to also check out the animated trailer for the campaign, which is the latest project from Rippaverse Studios. Y'all be easy.